Special counsel Jack Smith may have very well just given former President Donald Trump his ace in the hole. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you guys are able to hear me. Hope you guys are able to see me okay. If you are, go ahead and drop me a quick comment. Let me know that the audio video is okay. All right, so basically, I kind of want to talk about these recent developments in the whole Mar-a-Lago classified documents case involving former President Donald Trump and, of course, special counsel Jack Smith. Now, in some very groundbreaking turn of events, Jack Smith, who is the prosecutor at the heart of this investigation, he made a declaration that could significantly impact the future of this very high-profile case. Now, as you know, Donald Trump's in a lot of different cases right now. Up in New York City, he just got hit with a $450 million lawsuit thanks to Letitia James and Judge Arthur Engoron. Then, of course, there's the Georgia election case with Fani Willis, Nathan Wade. It's wild. Anyway, Jack Smith has explicitly stated that his position is subservient to the Attorney General. This is a move that's laying the legal groundwork for Trump to appoint a very favorable Attorney General if he's elected for a second term in November. Seriously, guys, Jack Smith may very well be playing both sides here, as apart from his earlier statement, he also recently offered to provide evidence that could help Donald Trump in his classified documents case, all part of what they're calling the Brady Rule. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brady Rule, but ultimately it kind of mandates the disclosure of any favorable information to the defendant. Basically, they have to give this inside intel that the defendant may not know can help his case, and it can ultimately overturn the tide in Donald Trump's favor. Now, before we really break this down, you guys are going to be blown away. All I ask is that you take 1 second, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. And if you really want to help the channel, if you really want to help spread the truth out, be sure to share this video on Facebook and Twitter. I totally appreciate you guys. All right, so this clip that I'm going to share with you guys in just a second, it also kind of features some insights from legal expert Neal Katyal. He basically discusses this recent ruling by Judge Aileen Cannon, who Donald Trump appointed when he was president back in 2016, and its implication for Trump's legal strategy moving forward. So Katyal, he suggested that Smith may end up losing this war with Trump, as Cannon suggesting his legal team could just kind of like bring up their arguments again in the future. And this could result in Donald Trump delaying the start of the federal trial beyond the November election. Now, we all know what could likely happen after that point. And if you don't, you'll know by the end of this video. But by then, Donald Trump could win this whole thing and blow this entire case out the water. Now, with the federal trial's start date looming, and of course the 2024 presidential elections right around the corner, the stakes really couldn't be any higher for Donald Trump or for Jack Smith. But yeah, so anyway, as legal commentator Jonathan Turley said, every day that Jack Smith, basically every day Jack Smith is reducing the likelihood to get a trial before the election. So I want you guys to take a listen to this. Pay very close attention to what he's saying here. Take a listen.
That is, they're unsure of where that line is drawn. So let's assume for a second that they rule for Smith and they send back what's called the mandate to the district court for the trial to go forward. If that happens in June, the trial judge has to get through pretrial motions that could take easily a couple of months. Then the trial itself can take 3 months. Now, if you do that, you're getting awfully close to the election. And the Department of Justice has long had a rule not to have elections within a couple of, trials within a couple of months of elections. Now, even though Jack Smith has been given a lot of discretion, that policy rests with main justice. And I think the Attorney General himself really should sign off on departing from that policy. So there's a lot of questions here, but Jack Smith is seeing a loss of calendar space. And for him, it's significant. Every day he loses, it reduces the likelihood that he can get a trial through before the election.
And in
Yeah.
one of his arguments,
So that's a pretty big deal, guys. This is a very big deal. What's going on, Sandra from Florida? I see you. Derek Archer, Stumpy02, Queen, Tiffany Deverick, Mr. Wolf. All right, so I'm gonna jump in the comments in just a little bit, but there's some key points I want to share with you guys here. So honestly, I gotta say, these Democrats, they're absolutely a piece of work. Now, basically, they just can't get themselves together long enough to actually pose as a serious threat to Donald Trump. I mean, even when they try, they kind of end up giving Trump and his team another win, kind of like scoring a goal in the wrong basket. Anyway, so take, for example, this latest argument coming from special counsel Jack Smith, the man who indicted former President Donald Trump in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, right? So Smith writes that the special counsel is not independent and is inferior to the attorney general, who could ultimately remove him or overrule any of his decisions. All right. And that basically lays the legal groundwork for Trump to appoint a favorable attorney general if elected for a second term in November. Now, I just want to quickly explain how this would work, right? So Trump, who's trying to make a comeback as, the Republican frontrunner for the 2024 presidential race, he went ahead and said, affirm not guilty to all 40 charges that were thrown at him. All right. Now, these charges, they're all about him supposedly keeping hold of some really sensitive materials, some sensitive documents after he left the White House back in January 2021. Right. Now, on top of that, he's accused of throwing obstacles in the way of the feds, trying to trip them up, trying to make it real hard for those feds to be able to get those documents back from his house, from his place over in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Now, in a separate federal case last year, this guy, Jack Smith, he hit Trump with some pretty serious accusations about the storming of the U.S. Capitol back on January 6, 2021. But we're talking about charging Donald Trump with conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights in connection to the investigation. So, what's Trump's stance, right? Well, completely denying any wrongdoing, claiming that these legal moves are politically motivated and they're a witch hunt against him as a Republican frontrunner. Now, Preet Bharara, who's been in the thick of it as a New York federal prosecutor before, he talks all about it on his podcast. And so he says that Trump would most or almost certainly appoint an attorney general who would just kill all the federal indictments if Trump's trials are not completed by then, right? And so this would literally give Trump a get out of jail pass instantly. And like I mentioned earlier, Jack Smith himself, he admits that he's totally under the will and the power of the attorney general. And this includes his removal as special counsel and the dismissal of the charges that he brought up against Trump. All right. So basically, Jack Smith, his recent legal paperwork, it seems to kind of double down on that prediction. So Jack Smith was also replying to an amicus, or a friend of the court, briefing by Edwin Meese, the former attorney general to President Reagan, who ultimately suggested Jack Smith shouldn't have been appointed as special counsel in Trump's cases. So what does Jack Smith say to that? Well, he's under the attorney general's wing, following orders, and could be replaced or overruled at any time. He could be removed, right? So Jack Smith wrote to Cannon that the special counsel is not an independent entity, but is actually an inferior officer under the terms of the U.S. Constitution's appointments clause. An inferior officer is one who reports to and is supervised by a superior officer. And the superior counsel, he's an inferior officer that's under the special counsel regulation because the attorney general supervises the special counsel's work, and they may remove him from office and may review and countermand his decision. So basically, it's a big old chain of command. It's kind of a pyramid. There's checks and balances, really no different than any other type of corporate organizational structure, right? Anyway, as an additional means of exercising control, the Attorney General can rescind the regulation at any time or amend the appointment order. They can exercise direct statutory supervision over the special counsel. Now, the special counsel is subject to the Attorney General's supervision and oversight. The special counsel's work is overseen by the Attorney General, who then, did we just like go off of the live? I feel like we just lost the live for a second. Are we still live? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys able to see me still? Anyway, hopefully we're still live because it looked like everything just restarted. Anyway, so in other words, he's playing by the constitutional rule book and he's totally under the power of the Attorney General. Now, with that, Bharara has explained some possible legal routes that Trump could take against Smith. Hopefully you guys are still here. I don't know if you guys, hey, if you guys are able to see and hear me, let me know that we're good now. I see some of you guys saying that I glitched, but it looks like we're back. All right. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I don't even know what happened. My internet, my router is still green, so I don't even know what happened. Anyway, now with that, so Bharara has explained some legal routes that Trump could take against Jack Smith, all right? He said in his podcast that in federal cases relating to the election interference and the hoarding of classified documents, Trump could just simply pardon himself when he becomes president. Of course, the contingency is he needs to become president. So it's a little contingency. It's kind of a big contingency. But anyway, this option would be very controversial, likely litigated in court, but it is an option. Now, the second option, according to Bharara, would be for Donald Trump to appoint a favorable attorney general to just kind of drop the federal charges altogether. And this was an option that Trump almost certainly would employ if he was elected president in 2024. Now, of course, the third option is to claim immunity from prosecution based on constitutional protections for a president for acts that are committed in office, which is one of the reasons why the Superior Court ruling was such a big deal for basically the recent ruling that states cannot remove Donald Trump from the ballots. That was a Supreme Court decision that had overruled basically all 50 states. But there's another Supreme Court ruling that has yet to be delivered. And if he wins this definitely enables the third option for him to be able to claim immunity. But we're still kind of like waiting on that one to unfold. But seriously, guys, like whatever route this takes, I think supporters will probably still vote for Trump no matter what. Let me know. I mean, we got a few hundred people in this live. What do you guys think? Like, would you vote for Trump no matter what the outcome is? Let me know, yes or no. Just if you would vote for Trump, just type in, just type Trump. If you wouldn't vote for Trump, just type in Biden in the comments down below. But anyway, and by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the video, definitely hit the like button for the video. I know we have like almost, we got a little over 600 people here in the live. I know it's super late. If you guys could show a little support for the channel, when you hit the like button, it definitely pushes this video out to more people on YouTube so that they can discover this video, so that they can get the content, get the information, and actually get the truth that the mainstream media really wants to keep from all of us. All right. So I really appreciate you guys hitting the like button. And if you really want to help the channel, definitely share this video on Facebook and Twitter. That helps to get more eyeballs on this situation, because we're losing our country, guys. We are absolutely losing our country. And I'm a little concerned for my kids and for my kids that are not yet born yet. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much for all of that. But anyway, so like I said, Special Counsel Jack Smith certainly has a way of seemingly going against Donald Trump. I mean, aside from giving him like a winning line in that argument that we talked about, Jack Smith, he's also offering to provide evidence that could very well help Donald Trump in his classified documents case. I mean, I don't know if he meant to do this, but according to a court filing from the Justice Department, a recent court filing, in a recent court filing, Jack Smith said the government is providing information or material to the United States that may be favorable to either defendant on the issues of guilt or punishment. All right. So they mentioned the Brady Rule. Basically, it's about making sure that the defense gets to see any evidence that could help their case. Now, I want you to understand how powerful this is, okay? I'm going to just say this one more time. They mentioned the Brady Rule, and basically it means that it's all about making sure that the defense being Donald Trump and his Donald Trump's legal team, they get to see any evidence that could help their case. And the government has to provide this based on the Brady Rule. So this came from a big deal Supreme Court decision called Brady versus Maryland. And so it means that if the folks trying to prove that you did something wrong, in this case, the prosecutors, those are the guys that are trying to prove that you did something wrong. And if you're Donald Trump, you're the defense, right? So basically, it just says that the prosecutors, if they have any evidence that's favorable to you as a defendant, they got to share it. So basically, Donald Trump is the defendant, so they have to give it to him. And it doesn't matter if they didn't mean to keep it a secret, they still have to hand it over. And of course, if they don't, then this comes out, if they don't, and this comes out during a trial, then the judge might have to stop the trial or stop certain evidence from being used. Now, I'm not an attorney. This is not law advice. This is not legal advice. I'm just saying. Anyway, so there's been a bit of a messy situation with the process of sharing evidence in a case about classified documents that involves Trump's documents. That involves Trump's team and Jack Smith. So now, before I even go any further, I want you to understand Trump is under heavy scrutiny right now for having classified documents in his possession during a time when he was president, right? But yet Biden has effectively done the same thing, but is not under anywhere near the level of scrutiny that Donald Trump is. And on top of that, he wasn't even president at the time when he acquired the documents. So technically, President Biden's mishandling, of classified documents is like 100 times worse than President Trump. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, because a lot of people, I don't even think they realize that they're literally they have literally done the same thing, but yet only one person's really getting in trouble for it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so this decision would ultimately, I'm talking about the whole the Brady Rule, right? So this decision could literally turn this entire case around for Donald Trump. I mean, this is a huge deal. All right. This Brady Rule, it is a very, very big deal. So basically, again, if they don't share this information and it comes out during a trial, in this case, it's Judge Aileen Cannon, the judge might have to stop the trial or stop certain evidence from being used. That would significantly strengthen the defense, i.e. Trump, or significantly weaken the prosecutors, i.e. Jack Smith. So there's been a little bit of a messy situation with the processing of, just kind of like sharing these documents and whatnot. But ultimately, special counsel asked Judge Aileen Cannon last month to reconsider a ruling that would allow Trump's lawyers to publicly disclose witness identities and their testimony. Evidence given to them in a discovery to the court docket. The decision will also let Trump's lawyers tell everyone about who might be witnesses and what they said, which usually is kept in private. Smith is worried that if this information gets out, it could put those people at risk, maybe being harassed, maybe even threatened. So he mentioned that this kind of thing, it's already happened to some people that were involved in Trump-related cases. Well, if there's, if they're so in the right, then why the need to keep it a secret, right? Anyway, I know. So in this latest development, Jack Smith's side has also handed over some new stuff that wasn't shared before, including a full copy of a search warrant application for Walt Nauta, who's working with Trump, and the notes from a new interview that was done on February 9th. So Jack Smith, he mentioned that some of the evidence could actually help Trump's case, and hinted that there could be additional evidence, saying that the government is aware of its continuing duty to disclose newly discovered additional information required by the standing discovery order. But seriously, guys, I mean, like, this just adds to what I've been saying. Donald Trump may actually still get his way in this battle against special counsel Jack Smith regarding the classified documents. I mean, despite a judge turning down one of his bids to drop the charges altogether. And this is not just me saying this. The same idea came from Neal Katyal, who's a seasoned lawyer and a one-time acting U.S. Solicitor General under the Obama administration. So Katyal was weighing in on Judge Aileen Cannon's decision not to entertain one of Donald Trump's requests to dismiss his case. So Aileen Cannon, the judge, she wasn't convinced by Trump's team, which argued that the Espionage Act charges, they were too vague and they shouldn't apply to Trump. Kind of like what we saw with the Fani Willis case, where 6 of Donald Trump's charges ended up getting dropped. This may happen again, okay? So while she acknowledged their argument deserved a closer look, she pointed out that the issues with this case, with their Espionage Act, would be better addressed in connection with the jury instruction briefing. And that's where Katyal pointed that this might be the end of the road for Trump. He suggested that Cannon leaving the door basically wide open for leaving the door wide open for Trump's team to kind of revisit their arguments could play into Trump's hands, especially if he's looking to kind of push back on the trial start date, which we all know he is trying to do that. So the trial is currently set for May 20th. So that's about little bit less than 2 months from now, right? But a delay past the November election could actually work tremendously in Trump's favor. If Trump can manage to outdo Joe Biden and win the 2024 election before this trial kicks off, well, I mean, he could potentially have the Justice Department call off the case once he's back in office. And really, at that point, Republicans just kind of need to Republicans, they just need to not be too overly confident and complacent, just assuming that Trump's victory in 2024 is automatic, because it's not automatic. They need to stay aggressive if Donald Trump's going to be able to pull this thing off. So, you guys watching this video today definitely helps the cause. So I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this makes a little bit more sense to you guys. We need to get more information like this out. I mean, there's a shortage of truth out there, guys, and I'm trying to bring it to you. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, definitely do your boy a favor, hit the like button, share this video on Facebook and Twitter. I really, really do appreciate the support, you guys. And I hope my sound and audio is still good, because I had some technical problems a little while ago, about probably 10 minutes ago now. Anyway, this whole time I may have been talking to myself. So when I watch the replay of this video, I hope I'm not like watching the video and I'm like, because I have no sound, right? Anyway, hopefully it's good. So, all right, who's up in the comments? Where are you guys watching from? Whoa. Andrew the Celt. Hello, Scotland from Canada. What's going on? I love seeing international folks in the comments. The reach is ridiculous. Whoa, why do we have 666 people watching right now? That's a scary number. I don't like to see that. Somebody hurry up, invite someone else to get that number to change. I don't like seeing three sixes. Let's see, Lady D123, awesome dialogue as always. Thank you so much. True Justice, thank you so much for confirming that I'm good. We got Betty Barker from Oklahoma, Eric Holler, C-Bus, Ohio, Neva B from Mississippi. We got Miguel Mitchell, Tampa Bay. What's going on, family? What is going on, you guys? Let's see, we got Tammy Johnson, San Antonio, Sherry Stang, Northern Michigan. All right, so let me see. Sherry Strang says, thank you all. Thank you so much for all you do. Oh, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, cool. Sounds. I was gonna say the sound looks pretty good, but that doesn't sound right. But according to the comment that I'm reading, the sound does look better. Let's see. Betty Barker says any code, ordinance, statute that is not constitutional is null and void. Marbury versus Madison. Nice. You know your cases. Nana's Crochet Corner. These people are relentless. Truth Social is not liquid cash. Hey, by the way, so Donald Trump's case up in New York City, as we all know, he's got what, 72 hours roughly? Might not even have a whole 72 hours anymore. Angry Letitia James, she was getting pretty happy about being able to seize Donald Trump's real estate assets. And in fact, I actually saw a legal document submitted from Letitia James's office regarding the initiation of basically seizing one of Donald Trump's real estate holdings north of Manhattan. And I forget the name of the city, but basically it doesn't look like Letitia James is coming after the Donald Trump towers or any of his buildings yet. Or at least maybe that's not one of the first things that she's coming after. It looks like she's actually coming after one of his residences. Happens to be sitting on about 370 acres of land, beautifully manicured lawns up in New York, just north of Manhattan. I think the house has it's like 50,000 square foot house. I mean, it's crazy. Can you imagine 50? There's some apartments in New York. There's some apartments in New York that are not even 500 square feet. This house is 50,000 square feet. So that's like 100 apartments in this one house. Anyway, beautiful home, built in like 1920 something. So this would have less of an impact on New Yorkers, at least from the perspective that, you know, if Letitia James were to seize a Donald Trump hotel, like the Trump Tower, think about all the employees that work there, the staff. There's probably 1,000 people, if not more, that work in a single building, and these are all New Yorkers who are innocent, right? And they would theoretically be losing their jobs. I'm not really sure exactly how that proceeding would work, but if she took over, who's going to run the business, right? Effectively shutting down Donald Trump's business and preventing him from being able to manage it. So, I mean, that would be thousands. Think about all the taxpayers. Think about the revenue lost to the city. So they'd be basically cutting their own nose off to spite their face and pissing off even more New York City residents by causing all those people to lose their jobs, which is awful. And I'm a New Yorker myself. I'm originally from New York. So I just hate seeing this go down. This is literally destroying our country. I mean, the United States of America has been seen as the most trustworthy place to invest in. Think about it. Like, what other country, if you're an international investor, obviously if you live here, if you're an American, if you live in America, you're probably going to invest in real estate here, right? In the United States, right? But if you're an international investor and you're saying to yourself, hey, I want to put my capital to work, where am I going to invest my money? Where else? Like, how could you not look at the United States as the number one place to invest capital. Like, I can't imagine that you would really look at anywhere else outside of the United States. Excuse me. I can't imagine that you would not look at the United States as your first prime pick for investing capital if you're looking to invest in real estate. We have laws that protect property ownership, and we have a long history of protecting property owners. Our constitutional rights allow us to protect our property, right? You got the Second Amendment, among a number of other amendments that allow us to protect ourselves and to protect our properties. What we're seeing in New York City right now with this $450 million ridiculous, silly judgment against Donald Trump for a crime with no victims is an egregious attack. It is lawfare. It is leveraging the legal system to attack one person. Letitia James campaigned on coming after Trump. So basically, whoever didn't like Trump probably voted for her. And now that she's gotten into office, she said, hey, what can I get in? How can I knock this guy down for my supporters? How can I knock this guy down for my voter? Let me put this case together. Because there were no victims. No one told me about it. No banks didn't complain because they were profitable. They made money. They were paid back. They earned likely thousands, if not millions of dollars in interest during the time that the loans were in effect for Donald Trump's construction of his real estate assets. So no one was complaining. So you had to creatively put a case together with no historical merit and attack the man. And you set a bar that's so high that the bond companies can't even meet it. So in effect, he can't even secure the bond that was demanded by Judge Arthur Engeron of New York City. This is literally using the law to punish an individual. This is a very scary precedent. He can't even appeal this case until he ties up $500 million. As a business owner, tying up $500 million is a very, very dangerous thing if that is all of the liquid capital that you have. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to have enough liquid assets to keep your businesses going. You got payroll. He's probably got, I don't know, at least 1,000, if not a few thousand people under payroll. Then there are certain loans and outstanding legal obligations that require Donald Trump. I read somewhere Donald Trump is actually required to hold at least $30 million in liquid cash based on one of the types of loans that he has outstanding. So this is literally crippling the business. This is literally putting potentially thousands of jobs in jeopardy, all to prove a point, all to prevent someone from campaigning in 2024. Donald Trump came out just the other day. Actually, this morning, he came out and said, hey, I do have $500 million, which is actually countering what his legal team had said. Who's his legal team up in New York? Alina Habba and company. Anyway, he came out and said today that he's got $500 million in cash. Now, I don't know if that really helps his case right now, to be honest with you. I have yet to hear any type of follow-up from his attorney team. But good news is Truth Social. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently Truth Social actually just got approved to be, I think it's Truth Social got approved to be able to be listed on the stock market. And it looks like, based on some early information that's been released, it looks like Donald Trump may be able to walk away with about up to $3 billion at some point in time in the future. So it looks like his cash worries may be taken care of at some point in the future. I'm not sure if he'll be able to maybe borrow against those future projected earnings that he expects, or that are expected to be received to Donald Trump in the future. Only time will tell on that. But this could be a big move, and it's wild. If you guys want to support Donald Trump, maybe you could go to, and I'm not suggesting this, I'm not being sponsored. This is not a sponsored video. I just know how these app store things work. I think that the more members that there are on a given app, the more, popular the app can be. So if you guys want to check that out, you guys know how to find that. But yeah, so that is actually breaking news. I should talk more about that in a future video, but it does look like that Truth Social deal may actually net Donald Trump probably somewhere in the ballpark of $3 billion. Don't quote me on that. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney or none of that stuff. I'm just some dude that shows up on YouTube every now and then who happens to suffer from insomnia. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the content. As usual, hit the like button for your boy. Share this video on Facebook and Twitter and any other social media platform that you happen to like. Subscribe to the channel if you want. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.